Hi, my name's Harsh. My teammates are Amog, Ria, and Rachel, and we're going to be pitching our product, ToneRep. So, what is ToneRep? Our product essentially just helps users replicate tone in any content, whether it's using your own tone from your own content to quickly send out AI generated content in your own voice, or if you want to grab the tone of a social media influencer or a news article and to leverage it for your own purposes to see the same traction and outreach those people get. So, here's just like a quick landing page of our product. So, what is the problem? The problem is that people every day feed in some sort of content to an LLM chatbot and try to humanize it or adapt it to a well-performing post. So I've attached like some example prompts here. If ChatGPT could humanize an essay in my tone, or some sort of content in my tone, and another one where it's asking Gemini to format a draft post in the same way as another one that's trending on social media to have it reach the same audience. So here's a quick example. I'm taking a LinkedIn draft post. I'm going to ChatGPT, and this is a draft post that I wrote, and I wanted to match the format and tone of another popular, well-performing post. So I go to LinkedIn. This is a post that's performing really well, and I grab the content for it, and then I go back to chat, and then I paste it here, and then I just hit enter, and it's just going to output my exact post in that same format as the popular performing one. So you can see it went ahead and did that. So the problem with that is there's a lot of the speed of iteration with that type of stuff is extremely slow, and oftentimes figuring out the right prompt to have your content match the same format and tone as another one can be really hard. So our platform helps you mimic tone. So whether it's yours or someone else's. And the way we've done this in our product is that we have two tabs. One is the Me tab and one is the Explore tab. The Me tab is where you feed in your own samples of work so you can get your tone. And then the Explore tab is where you can feed in external content or explore other creators to grab their tone. So here's a quick walkthrough. I'm gonna go ahead and go to this website. And here's our landing page. Just gonna quickly log in. As you can see, we have that Me and Explore tab. The Me tab can essentially scan your Gmail outbound, so it can look at your sent emails to recognize your tone from that, or you can select specific documents or essays that you've written, handwritten in your Google Drive, and you can upload documents as well, and it'll generate a tone profile from that. And then the Explore tab has trending posts. So I've kind of just attached some dummy trending posts here that can essentially just tell you what tweets or posts on LinkedIn or Substack articles are trending. And then you can grab the tone. You have two options here. You can either grab the tone of this specific post, or you can grab the author's tone, which will look at the specific author's history of tweets, LinkedIn posts, Substacks, and can give you a tone profile for them. And you can use that and leverage that to try to replicate it or put your own spin on it. And here's a search tab. So I'm gonna go ahead and take an example article. For example, this one is trending on AP News. I passed it in here. For the sake of time, I'm just gonna go directly to the output. So the output is essentially just gonna look like a master prompt that you can feed into an LLM of your choosing. So you paste this plus your draft of your AI generated content into an LLM of your choosing, and it will make it match the specific tone. And this is generated from a master prompt. More on that a bit later. So as you can see, it's kind of just talking about how the wording in this AP News article is done, and more about how the master prompt works. So if I go here, the master prompt is something I constructed by looking at a bunch of research sources, both from Stanford, Google DeepMind, and some research papers in ICML. And they just kind of tell you how human content truly sounds to an LLM and how you can replicate that. So this is kind of just a master prompt here. It'll just give you a blueprint and tell the LLM how to pick and define the tone in a specific article or social media post. And that's what's being leveraged here to produce the output. Back to the slide deck. So as for our technical infra, we're just looking at a client layer, which is just built with Next.js. And the API layer, we're using Python and Fast API, and we're accessing the OpenAI from Microsoft Azure, and just using that to actually generate the tone profile. And the actual content that is scraped, we're using a service called Firecrawl. Instead of using Instagram or all these different APIs for different services, which can be deprecated, have rate limits, etc., Firecrawl does a really good job of just essentially going to any website, looking at the public view that any user might get, and just use their content and scrape their content into a structured format. And then we pass this into OpenAI along with that master prompt I showed you earlier, and boom, you get a tone profile. And that should be our entire pitch. Thanks for listening.